Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show where Truth Matters. Thank you so much for watching every Monday through Friday, beginning at 2 p.m. on the Eastern Time Zone as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. You can find us syndicated on television, Channel 182 Charter Communications Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. Another way you can find us is on all the social media sites. I love being on Facebook for you. I know it's convenient because when you're working, you can't necessarily watch all this live, but go back and look at some of the past shows. Continue sending emails, Donna@DonnasEdge.com. That's Donna@DonnasEdge.com. I do appreciate those emails. And remember, the show is all about you anyway. You're the reason we do this. So Anna sent a message to me, and all she said in the message, and it was up on the heading, was, do you know you probably have vampires in your life? Well, I'm thinking, who's this Anna? And what's Anna talking about? Then I went on ahead and clicked on the link. She's right. You probably do have a vampire in your life. A lot of us do. And that's not necessarily what we've called them before, but there's an article Anna sent, and it's from healthline.com. This is one of my go-to sources anyway. I love this website. So the website, again, healthline.com, how to recognize and respond energy vampires at home, work, and more. Okay, so let's dig in just a little bit. And this is what they say an energy vampire is. So an energy vampires are people who sometimes intentionally drain your emotional energy. They feed on your willingness to listen and care for them, leaving you exhausted and overwhelmed. So this is what you can do. So energy vampires can be found anywhere and could be anyone. So they're the people you encounter who leave you feeling drained and exhausted. They can be your spouse or your best friend, not my spouse. And they can be your cubicle mate or your neighbor. Learning how to identify and respond to this toxic behavior can help you preserve your energy and protect yourself from a great deal of emotional, physical, and distress. So we're going to go on ahead and find out what makes this person a vampire. Now, I'm not talking about the blood-sucking ones. Well, they kind of are because they suck the energy out of your body. Okay, this is one of the examples of a person who's a vampire in your life. They don't take accountability. So energy vampires are often charismatic, and they may slink in and out of trouble without problems arising because of their charm. They're crafty, and they can pin problems on someone else in almost every situation. They never accept accountability for their role in any disagreement or issue. They're often left holding the guilt, or you're left holding the guilt and possibly the blame. Now, here's an example. Okay, I can't believe no one could get this right. What an embarrassment. Now, just because you say that doesn't mean now that you're an energy vampire, but it could be one of those situations there. Okay, here's another example right here. I just sat there. He kept getting angry at me, and I still don't know what I did. Okay, now they're always involved in some kind of drama. You got those folks on Facebook. It's like every time you turn around, there's some kind of drama on there. Folks, just use it. What I use Facebook for, first of all, I probably wouldn't even have Facebook if it wasn't for getting this show for you guys, because that's one of my means of doing that. But if you ever just look through the Facebook comments and things that are on there, and it's like one drama scene after the other, you know, and sometimes, and understand, I really do understand that, you know, sometimes we have a need out there. We have an emotional need, but I'm talking about people who it's every single day. There are 10 things that they're needing help on. So energy vampires often find themselves in the middle of a catastrophe. Okay, so they're always fleeing from target to target with their emotional and dramatic behavior. Now, when they've landed on you, they're firing this drama onto you in hopes you'll absorb it, or maybe you'll fix it, and right there, to help them out. For example, this is a couple of good examples. Okay, why am I always the one everyone gets mad at? I don't deserve this. And then here's another example. I just can't take this anymore. I didn't do anything to Ellen and she stopped talking to me. Why can't everyone be as kind as you? Now, here's a situation I've run into this before where somebody says that. Then I find out a little bit later they're talking to Ellen about me. So be very, very careful. If somebody is spreading rumors or somebody's talking about somebody else, they're probably doing the same thing to you. So again, be extremely careful. Okay, they're always one up on you. Okay, you broke your leg, they broke 2 legs. You didn't sleep but 1 hour last night, they only slept 30 minutes. I mean, it's always something like that. They're always one up on you. So an energy vampire never likes to be outdone, and they aren't keen to share the spotlight. Okay, this is one of their many narcissistic tendencies. They struggle to feel genuine happiness for another person. Like if somebody wins a race, they can't be happy. I mean, there's always something, that they can be unhappy about that. Instead, they prefer to pull energy to feed their emotional demands. For example, that's really good news. I actually applied for a new job today too, and I really feel I need some help with my resume. Do you mind looking over it? I mean, they can't help you celebrate anything. Okay, so proud of you. Only 3 more certifications to catch up and get caught up with me. Oh, don't do that. Even if that is the truth, just don't do that. And sometimes we just do things we don't even know we're doing it, And so just, I guess, be aware of what you have to say. I've learned to do that. I've learned to try to be more aware of what I say to folks, because you don't want to rain on somebody's parade. Let them have that moment. Let them be happy for what they've just accomplished. It's okay, really. Okay, they diminish your problems and play up their own. Okay, energy vampires feed off your emotional energy. And if you're sad or upset, your energy supplies there are dwindling for them. Now, to drain the most energy from you, energy vampires will shift the attention of the discussion to themselves, turning your dismay into their emotional buffet. For example, I know your job doesn't pay well, but at least your job is fun. You have to help me find a new one. Here they are. They're circling it right back around to them. Okay, you're super swamped at work, is what they say to you. And I get it. But I really, really need to talk to you tonight about this issue with Mark. In other words, your problems aren't as important as their problems are. Oh, here's a good one right here. These vampires actually act like a martyr. Okay, they're a Joan of Arc, Even Joan of Arc was well intended, but what I'm saying is this. Energy vampires place their problems squarely on the shoulders of other people. They take no responsibility for their contribution to their difficulties. Okay, so what they're seeking is emotional support to boost their self-esteem. For example, he's always so unreasonable. I do the best I can, but it's just never enough. Okay, I always question that when somebody says that to me. Never enough for you or them. What are you talking about? Okay, this day started off bad and it only got worse. We've heard that one a lot. Okay, they use your good nature against you. So people who are sensitive and compassionate are prime targets for energy vampires. You offer a listening ear, a kind heart, and endless energy. Be careful when you do that. In that way, energy vampires use your very nature against you, draining you of your vitality. For example, they monopolize your time at every social occasion so they can have as much of your energy as they can possibly get. They know you'll feel guilty turning them down for coffee or a dinner date, so they ask on a regular basis. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, I'm keeping up with the time because this is something we can always run out of time on. Okay, how about this one? They use guilt trips, or they use ultimatums on you. Now, energy vampires often rely on guilt trips to get what they want. They know shame is a great weapon against people who are compassionate and caring. Now, I'm not telling you not to be compassionate. Everybody needs to have more compassion in their life, to help other folks out. But you got to be really, really careful and key up on the people who are using this against your nature. And I love every single one of you guys. You all seem to be really compassionate and caring. And that's what makes it be a better world if we had more people like that. Likewise, ultimatums are an effective way to capture a person's attention and coerce them into doing something they otherwise may not want to do. For example, I don't know how you expect me to make it without you. I'll fall apart. Now, let me tell you what this person says. This person is not only saying this to you, they're saying it to a whole lot of other people as well. So you be really careful, okay? Here's another example. If you really care for me, you'll call him and tell him how much I love him. Oh, man. I had this happen in my life. Just a few months ago, there was a breakup of a relative and the girlfriend. And here I got sucked into that emotional stuff, and I was out there trying to help both sides. I didn't take up for either one of them. You know, I've learned a long time, if there's a breakup in friends in your life, don't take up for either one of them. I promise you, 9 times out of 10, if there's a problem, it's both of them. You know, unless there's somebody who beats somebody or something like that, I don't condone that. But I'm just saying, on a regular, old-fashioned divorce, it's probably going to be both of them. Okay, so let's go ahead and look down just a little bit more and see what we can find. Okay, you know what? I think it's time for me to go to a commercial break. Let me go ahead and do that. I'll be right back in just a few minutes.
Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of the Cobb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
Donna's Designs offers a line of handmade memorial, wedding, and keepsake jewelry that launched back in 1970. I'm a self-trained jewelry designer, and I will work closely with you to create unique designs you can love and treasure for years to come. Whether that be flowers that were used in a funeral arrangement or stones you found on the beach at a memorable trip, call me at 256-659-4319, and let's think of the possibilities. The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462.
Okay, we're back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show. So Anna sent a very good health. It is from healthline.com. This is one of my go-to websites. I love this one. So Anna, thank you for sending this one. And Anna again asked me or told me, she said, you probably have some vampires in your life. And thank you so much for sending this article. Now we're talking about the vampires in your life who just basically suck your energy out of you. And we're talking in the first segment about these vampires and what they do and kind of how to stay away from them. And this way you can, because a regular friend, somebody's always going to have a problem. You know, this is just normal life. But I'm talking about the person who over and over and over, it's like you almost run when you see them coming to you at a party or whatever, or at church, or that person who's going to circle you around. There's always an issue. Now, another thing that they'll let you know that this is probably a vampire coming at you is they're codependent. Let's talk about what that means. Codependency is a type of relationship where every action is designed to elicit a certain reaction from the other individual. It's a vicious cycle of behavior, but energy vampires rarely recognize that they're in them. So they use these relations, often romantic ones, to continue spinning a cycle of drama and emotional need. For example, this is something that they could say. I know this isn't a good relationship, but it's so much better than trying to get over him and learn to date again. They're saying that to you. Or they could say, if I just ignore him for a few days, he'll totally beg for forgiveness and come crawling back. But then again, he may not. Okay, this is another thing they do is they criticize or they bully. I've seen this out of a couple family members. They criticize or they bully. Now, at their core, energy vampires are often insecure. And they may use dehumanizing tactics and criticisms to keep their prey insecure as well. They don't want to see anybody else making it to the top either. In this state, you feel you owe them your attention and should continue to work to stop the unwarranted attacks. Be super careful there. For example, they could say, I was too stupid to expect anything better from you. Everyone else treats me like garbage, so why not you? Okay, here's another one. You were in over your head from the beginning, and I told you that. They always were better. They always, they're always that person. This is another thing they do is they intimidate you. Okay, one step removed from criticizing or bullying you, intimidation is a tool some energy vampires turn to when they need to stir up some emotional fodder. Okay, fear is a very strong emotional reaction. If the energy vampires can upset you, they can bolster their ego. For example, I won't tell you this again and again. Another thing they can say is you don't deserve a promotion. You don't show that you really even want it. Now, what is that to say to somebody? That's somebody that's bullying you. Okay, now why it matters and what you need to do. Let's talk about that for just a few minutes. So energy vampires demand a lot from the people they target. They're always going to be using you for something. Again, remember earlier when we said that they don't take responsibility? That's part of it. They want you to be the one who takes the fodder. Okay, they demand a lot. They demand a lot from the people they target. This continuous strain on your resources can have a noticeable effect on your well-being. So over time, excess stress can lead to anxiety, depression, heart disease, and more. That's why it's important to recognize the behavior, then work to remove them from your lives. You need to do this as soon as possible. Okay, this may involve putting up walls to protect an energy vampire's efforts or removing the person from your life entirely. It's hard to do if it's a relative. And so let's read on down and see if there are ways that we can handle this. Now, the ideas that we're going to be talking about may not work for everybody. So try them and mold your approach as you go until you're able to feel in control or protected. Establish boundaries. Now, we've heard this. A lot of folks have talked about this. If you have a narcissist in your life, you need to establish boundaries. That's going to be your well-being. It's what's going to get you through all of this. Although this may be easier said than done, at first, you could and you should develop areas of your life where you won't allow an energy vampire to enter your life. Don't agree to social events like dinner or coffee dates. Avoid weekend trips and other extended events where they will be in attendance. I've done that before. At work, you can limit interactions between the two of you by not agreeing to lunches and not stopping by their desk to chat. You may need to start small, focusing on a few areas, and then expand. First of all, these people are pretty intelligent. They really are. You think they're dumb. No, they're pretty smart. They know how to connive. They know how to play a mean game of chess on you. Okay, now what you need to do also, according to this article, and that's healthline.com, is adjust your expectations. I agree with that. You can't fix an energy vampire, but you can reshape your expectations about them. This may involve shutting off your emotional value and not offering advice when they present their problems to you. This may also mean that you can use them as a type of emotional release either. You want to reciprocate. Okay, now this is extremely important. Okay, I know this from my own examples. Don't give them an inch. Just don't. If the energy vampire calls, stops by, or texts, don't give them the room. Okay. Offer an excuse. I'm too tired or I'm too busy will do. You could say that you've got plans or don't feel well. Okay, when you keep interfacing with excuses and not getting the emotional energy, they don't get the emotional energy that they don't need. They'll start looking somewhere else because that's going to be short term. They got to have somebody like now that they can prey on, P-R-E-Y on. Okay. Guard your emotional capacity. Energy vampires use nonverbal cues to know when they have someone on the hook. Let's see what those are. Okay, your facial expression, the way you lean in, how you clasp your hands, an energy vampire can take these in signs of your investment to them. Okay, if you instead offer stone-faced responses and only offer short statements to their questions, you won't open yourself up for the demands and you can reserve your energy for you. If it's, let's say it's a relative, maybe it's maybe a parent or somebody that you're taking care of, you got to remember this. Your first responsibility is to your spouse. Okay, so that spouse comes first. Your kids have to come in there as well. But you know something? These are things that you can do and keep your sanity at the same time. Sometimes you need to talk with your spouse just to make sure that you two agree on this as well. Now, You can cut them out entirely, which is hard to do if it's a relative, but you can do it. In most cases, you have the freedom to excise the person from your life entirely. Now, this may seem dramatic, but you have to remember that you're protecting yourself in the end. And that's true. And again, that can be family, it can be somebody you work with. I had somebody I worked with one time that had been told a rumor about me, and I didn't even know it. I just knew that this person was acting a little different, but then I just kind of brushed it off too. And that's sometimes we do that, and it can save our hides. So I just kind of brushed it off. Well, we're all busy here because it was like around Christmas time, and the business I was in, we were in technology, and I'm just going to tell you, everybody wanted this particular thing for Christmas, a Christmas present. So we were just all busy and everything. So I thought, well, that's okay. We're all busy, so I'll just let it go. Then after Christmas, she walked up to me and she said, I wanted to apologize for my behavior. And I said, what are you talking about? But I was remembering, but I wanted to, you don't want to be like behind anybody either. And I said, what are you talking about? And she said, I've been rude to you. And she said, I had been told something about you that you said I said something. And she said, then I found out later you didn't say that. And I said, here's what I do. I said, when someone tells me that somebody said something bad about me, I always go to that person and tell them, I heard that you said, I said so-and-so, so-and-so. Is that true? And they'll usually try to wiggle out of that. So this happened in a family situation one time where somebody had told some rumors, and they said that they saw me at a bar. And I knew I hadn't been at a bar. And so they were trying to say that I had done something I didn't do. So what I did, I went on ahead. I heard what they said, and I nipped it in the bud. And then they said, well, this other person told them that they saw me at a bar. And I said, oh, really? Well, let's go ahead and call them too. And when I started to call them, they hung up the phone. I was going to put them on the three-way call because I believe in getting to the nitty-gritty of it and stopping rumors in their tracks. So this narcissist this vampire, I'm pretty sure she said some stuff, but this vampire has never been in my life again. And I just didn't see the drama, the point of it. Point being is I was not at a bar. And the only thing I can think of is sometimes we go to business after hours, and and sometimes it would be at an establishment kind of like that. So I just thought, well, that's what they're talking about. And I just brushed it off. And then I got thinking about it. No, I need to go ahead and get to the bottom of this. So when someone tells you that, or you hear that they have said something about you, and it's not, and now don't weasel out of it, you really did it. Just let it go. But if you didn't do it, you need to get to that person who started that rumor. And then, especially if they say, well, I didn't say it, but Christy said it. If they say that, then what you need to do is say, well, let's go on ahead and get Christy involved in this. I promise you're going to find it. You're going to get to the bottom of it. Now, let's talk about the bottom line, and then we'll be done with this. Now, by recognizing these behaviors and trying to put it to an end, you are protecting yourself, your health, and your overall well-being. No one deserves to be mistreated or used in this manner, and it's certainly not your fault. Some people refuse to accept responsibility for their own emotional maturity, and that is not your burden to carry. So don't worry about that anymore. Thank you so much for watching Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. And thank you, Anna, for sending this article. Again, this was found on healthline.com, healthline.com. Continue sending emails. They absolutely make my day. Donna@donnasedge.com, Donna@donnasedge.com. If you want to be involved in any of our giveaways, you need to do that as well. You need to let me know of any birthdays and anniversaries and those things that are coming up. Every Friday, I give away stuff. And it's some really, really good stuff as well. Thank you again so much for watching. Can't wait to see you next time.